Welcome to Fresh Talks Global Vision, the show where we open the mic to voices that the world needs to hear. I'm your host, Rhonda Liebig, and together we're standing for a global shift to stop the cycle of blaming and shaming that holds us back. And I'm here to open up the voices. And I was shut down for so long. And we're doing this series, and we're on the fifth conversation out of 10 that we're going to be doing. So, shame, that feeling of shame can be around money, can be around, the lifestyle that you think that you can have, to your health and wellness. And today we're going to focus in on finance, money, mindset. And this stuff is really important to me. I was a CPA for 10 years. And I know that it took me a while when I started running my business to understand I had roadblocks around money. And I thought it was just fake it till you make it, because that's what we used to do when I first started out in this industry 15 years ago. That was like the main conversation. And I'm like, that really doesn't feel very good. And I started coming more into this authentic space. So I can't wait to get more in with this with Laura Lee Kenny. Laura Lee Kenny, welcome in. I'm going to do a great bio, but I wanted to say we're so happy to have you here.
Well, thank you. This is exciting. It's a 10-part series. That's wonderful.
I know, and I love your bubbly, straightforward personality. I mean, you are a kick-butt entrepreneur. I think you're the perfect person to be talking about this money mindset stuff. Okay, so this is what Laura Lee Kenny is all about. As a passionate money mindset mentor, she highly motivates to empower female entrepreneurs to step into their own power, take control of their lives and finances. Even they struggle with their life, even if they struggled their whole life with money and debt. I appreciate you so much, Laura Lee. What are we going to be talking about today? Because I know I have a few questions for you, but do you have some juicy stuff, any story you want to share right now? But welcome in. Let's hear some stuff.
I could tell you a little bit about me. And oh my goodness, I had so much to learn about money. Oh my goodness. I'm one of 12 children born in the end of the baby boom era. And I was one of the oldest ones in the family. So there was a huge responsibility in our household for helping out with the brothers and sisters. Okay. And I can say we were definitely lived the pioneer lifestyle for many years. The house was under 600 square feet. And at that point, I was 9. I believe I was 9 years old, the third oldest. And the 9th child had just arrived. And Dad had more than doubled the house in size. And guess what? We got a bathroom out of that. We didn't have running water inside our house until I was 9. So when I say pioneer lifestyle, oh my goodness. So I often heard, we don't have the money. And I'd hear this from my mom, not from Dad, which was quite interesting. I didn't realize that until later in life. My father was definitely an entrepreneur. He liked to be the boss. He did not like being bossed. I know that, considering he was an entrepreneur and self-employed business person almost all of his life. It was quite interesting about Mom saying, there's those trees out there. There's no money. There's no money tree. Money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford it. I heard that all the time. And I got to spend a fair amount of time until I went to school with my grandparents. One set of grandparents. The other set passed away very young. And they were very spiritual. And their loving kindness, and I adored them. I really did. But they were, it's easier for a camel to walk through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. And I remember that at age 5, and I did not know what that meant. I didn't know that the eye of a needle was actually an arch and the camels would crunch down to crawl through it. Oh my God, I think I was 60 years old when I found that out, that part of it. But I literally took it the other way. I'm thinking a sewing needle. So, if you want to be spiritual and you want to go to heaven when you pass away, there's chances are if you do really well financially, you're not getting there. So I had some of those major blocks.
So Laura Lee, I had those too. And of course I heard about is there money growing on the tree kind of thing, but also the hoity-toity thing. Like and what that's really strong about religion, about that you are not, most likely you're not going to be entering into the heaven's gates if you really have money. Oh, that's a big deflector.
Yes.
So what you learned along the way, and then finally figuring out, like, you actually had a limiting belief about money, but you didn't know what it was because you didn't know what the explanation was, but somehow your body really knew. There's no money growing on the trees.
Yes, but it's so interesting that not everybody in my family had that belief. Now I'm on my third act, my third pivot in career. I had 2 careers for 25 years each one. And one of them, the first one, I was a skincare and cosmetic representative. And back in the 80s, well, no, I guess early 90s, I myself personally had sales of $100,000 in sales. And I lived in the country, little old country girl doing it, but I loved it. I had a great time. Did I have any money at the end of the day? No. Because I would give extra discounts for people and stuff. And I didn't realize I wasn't valuing myself. And I got hurt in a car accident, and it laid me up for 3.5 years. So I was that statistic about the self-employed person if they didn't protect themselves. Someone came to my house and said they wanted me to invest in Canada. It's our RSPs or spousal RSPs to put money away for in lieu of a pension or to top up your pension. And I questioned the information I was getting from the lady. I said, I don't believe you've got all of that correct. Anyway, lo and behold, she didn't. And her supervisor said, she invited me to a meeting when she found out that I was right and she was wrong. And they asked me if I would like to learn about money to be a financial planner. And I said, well, I did such a terrible job the 3.5 years that I was laid up. We were $20,000 farther in debt, that I needed to learn some things about money. And I took it upon myself to change and go back to school and learn a lot. But I was probably 20 years into my financial planning career before I really started to understand about money IQ and money EQ, and how that there was ways to get rid of some of these negative beliefs, because I still thought you had to work hard in order to achieve. I understood a lot of things, but there was so much more to it. And to learn how to eliminate these beliefs. So I got all kinds of mentors on money to learn other things about money. Yeah. And so that's where my excitement is now. And I feel called to do that.
What's interesting is that sometimes people don't make money when they are in this money mindset. You actually know how to make money, but when you have money at that point earlier in your life, it's like, oh, it's yours, it's yours, it's yours. Like, you didn't know how to hold it after you got it. You're like, so that's interesting. That's really great, because you already have a way of knowing how to bring money in, which has to be real powerful as a coach. But it's the mindset of, do not be giving that away. Yes, you can go and you can contribute, but know what your books look like, know what your cash flow that's happening. So who are the people that you've been working with that you feel like you've really been able to do these big shifts? Who are the kind of people that are really attracted to what you're doing, and why it feels so good to be working with the types and groups of people that you're working with and the results that you're looking for? You must be getting great results with these people.
Well, it was interesting. In my 25 years as a certified financial planner, um, I started out, most of the people were, they didn't run their own businesses. They were workers, and they were needing to put some money away for retirement or to top up their retirement packages that they had. And then I got going quite well. I got into a niche, believe it or not, that this little old country girl got to take money from the largest pension company in New Brunswick, in our province. For you guys, you'd say state. And it had never been done before, let alone the paperwork was all signed in at their head office when I came to talk to the people. And we questioned some things, and the 7 people that I did paperwork with, talked to them, all that got reversed because I could prove that they were trying to not show people that they had an option, because I got to see the contract.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's big and bold. I mean, so what I'm finding and hearing is that you're, besides the money component, to actually know that you have people's back, is like learning the tenacity, like standing up as a leader and really reading the fine, the words and understanding what you're really getting into. I mean, there's so many things I think people get while they're hanging out with you and learning about this money mindset.
Well, I thank you. But what was really intriguing in my career there was that when I started to get entrepreneurs, oh my goodness, they had such a different mindset. I absolutely loved it. So it was such a difference, like somebody that works for somebody else and can never think of anything other than that. They're so happy to have had the 35 years working for the company or 40 years working for the company. And I'm not saying that they didn't make good, some of them made good money, some didn't. But when I started to get entrepreneurs and small businesses, the mindset was so different. I was just really blown away of how open they were. And I would suggest to them, because to me, it was more important what you kept and saved and invested than just what you earned. Now, even though in the years when I started really learning more about money, when Ed and I started, we had $10,000 put away, which when you're 35, that's probably, well, no, I guess it was 30. I was 39 when I started and started the investment industry. A lot of people our age, and that wasn't a few decades ago, dear, that was, a lot of my friends didn't have that put away, and yet I was disappointed that's all we had. Anyway, long story short, the idea was originally that we put some money away, and in Canada, if you put a certain amount of, my husband had a pension that we could top it up by investing money ourselves, and you would get a government rebate, basically a tax rebate, back by investing the money, and it just deferred it. You have to pay the tax when you take it out, but it grows tax-free while it's there. But if you did that, you've got a little bit extra cash out of it. And we just thought, okay, he said he wasn't going to get any more overtime, that is what we could do. And all of a sudden, instead of just having a little bit of money to top up his pension so he could go at age 55 instead of 65, that the money grew and grew and grew because we're able to put more and use the tax system so that everything was legal. Laura Lee had a pension. And because I did it as forced savings, automatic debits, I didn't touch it.
Ooh.
So I protected myself by setting things up. The automation is such a wonderful thing, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
That really helped us, because trust me, I'm good for the economy, as one of my clients said to me one time.
Yeah. I love
it. And my goal was always for people to enjoy their life, but yet still plan for retirement. And I could show them how, if they did certain things first, that they could have more money at the end of the day. Like, they just did not even understand doing the math. And you, as a CPA, oh my goodness, you'd understand even more than I did. I just had basic knowledge.
That is so wonderful. I want to hold that space right there, because the last question really is the one that you're going right into. You just led right into this. What does it feel like to be doing the shift for people that are learning about really the bottom line, like not just what they're bringing in, but really understanding how to save and do everything that you teach them? If more people had this in their life, how could this change and affect the world and the world we're living in right now?
Oh my goodness. Some people say, and I used to say, money is not the be all end all. But guess what? Having money gives you choices, especially females.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious. It gives us choices. It gives us power. It gives us self-esteem to know that we can take care of ourselves.
Yeah. I love that, Laura Lee. I love that, because a lot of, and we're talking about you come from an era, and me too, where you saw a lot of women believe that, I mean, there were some people that went out there and they really made money. I mean, you're one of them, but a lot of them of hoping that they find somebody that's going to help them live a different lifestyle, because they didn't believe in themselves. But the strategies that you are serving right now, there still are women out there that believe that they're not going to be able to make the money to have the lifestyle that they want. We need you out there. We want independent women, women that are nurturing, women that multitask in their love, women that, really are on the pulse of heart. And I can see so many changes happening with you having that vision, and you being in this podcast and us partnering, and you out there in your podcast and what you're doing. What's the name of your podcast that you do?
It's Money Mindset Mentors, because I like to talk about money. I've got the background. I've got the credentials. I call it wallpaper, by the way. I've got all these certificates. And my clients did not have a clue what those certificates meant, what those letters after my names meant. And they didn't care.
Yeah,
they wanted to know what I could do for them.
Yeah, exactly. My friend, I would like to have you on again. This is the second time I believe I've interviewed you. Is the second time, Marlene?
No, the other one I don't think we recorded. We had a little, unless I'm wrong. I know we had a lovely chat one time. I don't know if it was recorded.
That could have happened, but I'm surprised we didn't re-record it after that. But I would like to have you in here in a longer conversation. And so we're going to end this conversation, because we've got the 15-minute, special thing about, now we know it's about money, and the level of what what I would like to do in our next one, this is going to be part 2 with Laura Lee Kinney, is the discussion about the different layers that you've learned about money, and the heart center connection to money, about being able to love on it more than treat it like an exterior thing, and how that really connects. Because I know you have your own vision. I'm just creating a base here, but how that really connects with actually holding the money and really seeing that there's a vision here, that you don't have to spend it all to be living over expending to live a lifestyle, but really believing that money doesn't grow on the trees, that money actually, in the strategies, that's where you create that. So I want to have you in here again.
Oh, I would love to. I love your spirit also. It's just like a mirror as far as I'm concerned.
I appreciate you so much, Laura Lee. Thank you so much for being here in our series 5 of 10. And I'll make sure we get the link so everybody can connect with you in your podcast. And Fresh Talks Global Vision, stay tuned with all these wonderful things that we have going on right now. But I really at first want you to get into that link and get to know Laura Lee, almost said McKinney, Laura Lee Kinney. You want to get into how can you expand your world where you feel safe and know that there's money there by doing what's important to you. And that could be, working for somebody, but as an entrepreneur, it's really incredible when you're on fire every day. And it's actually the more fire and grounded you are and the strategies that Laura Lee is talking about, the more money will come in. And we need to play and expand in that more. That's really important to me. Sound good, Laura Lee?
Sounds perfect.
Oh, excellent, my friend. So we'll get you another link so we can do part 2. Love you, my friend. I really appreciate you. Thank you for your expertise today. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Woo-hoo!